This is the first official sort of vlog for myself, and I think it's fitting that I would be talking about this particular subject. In this world that we live in, this world of fraud, indeed, as Shakespeare so all too rightly said, all the world is a stage. Illusions are the reality of the day, the truth hidden with every kind of effort. This is a subject that very, very few people seem to realize, but it is the ultimate reality that we deal with, and in fact it is the key to our enslavement. Many, many years ago, while I was in America, I started to come into the understanding of this knowledge, and for me it really started with the understanding that although the U.S., or at least patriots, so-called patriots within the U.S., think that they have a constitution, and this was, 15 years ago, never mind now, the Patriot Act, NDAA, and just all of the hideous things that have happened that make the Constitution as valuable as the toilet paper that you wipe your ass with. I was a political target, realistically. I had spoken out against U.S. crimes. I had formally renounced my U.S. citizenship and lived in Hawaii, the stolen nation of Hawaii, and made very clear my lawful reasoning for residing in Hawaii while not being a U.S. citizen. And by the time I did this in 1999, 2000, I had genuinely made myself a target, and I found myself dealing with one experience after another with the police, generally driving my car and getting pulled over for one bogus reason or another. When I went to the courts to first off try and establish what was the jurisdiction of the court, what form of law was it practicing, and attempting to exercise my rights, both under the Constitution and human rights law, it was all too clear that there was no constitutional law, certainly not in the magistrate courts of America. And I even filmed clandestinely one of my experiences in a courtroom, which is a public forum, which, according to the Bill of Rights and the rights of the free press, should have been able to be filmed. But if you want to film court proceedings in U.S. courts, then you need the approval of the court. Well, why do you need the approval of the court? Well, this video that you're going to see here is going to explain in very, very good detail why that is, because ultimately, whether we knew it or not, at birth we were entered into a contract, and under that contract a straw man, a fictitious corporate entity, was created. And when that fictitious corporate entity, straw man, was created, you as a human being ceased to exist, and you subjected yourself or submitted to a system of tyranny. In plain language, a system of tyranny, a system intended to enslave you and subject you to a set of rules which have nothing to do with law, but are called legal, or acts and things of this nature. And it goes so far that it even means that when you subject yourself or submit yourself to certain things, you give up ownership to your car, and even more fantastically and truthfully, and as this video will show, to your children. Literally, when you register your children, you no longer have any control. The government controls them. This may seem absolutely outrageous, and it must be, so wrong that it couldn't possibly be, but that is the world we live in. As we sit here perched on the verge of full-scale World War III, this video tells you a lot about the fraudulent system that is being used to enslave all of us. And at the end of the day, I have to say, these people who are carrying out this fraud deserve even more respect than we ourselves deserve. Because at the end of the day, we, the masses, we are submitting ourselves to this. It doesn't have to be this way, but because we are so foolish, so indoctrinated and brainwashed, we do indeed submit to a tyrannical system which enslaves all of us. Watch this video. John Harris, free man, good man, truthful man, someone that I have to say I give all my love and respect to. I hope that people take a look at this video, understand some basic concepts, and decide not to take my word for it or John Harris's word for it, but look into it yourselves. It is phenomenal. And when people really do fully understand what is happening, well, I have no doubt whatsoever we will act accordingly.
When you submit, you are bending to another's will. Okay? So you're bending, you're agreeing to bend to their will. When you register, you are handing over title ownership of whatever you're registering to whoever you are registering it to. You actually physically hand this over. And in doing this, you acknowledge the transferring of that authority. When you apply, it actually means you're begging. And when you beg, it's assumed you know what you're begging for and you know what you're going to give up. That's what this means. Most of the time, you actually volunteer an application. You actually volunteer. You're not made to do it. Did I make you get a credit card? But you submit an application. Everything in this, the whole world is created, it runs on submitting applications for this, submitting applications for that. I'm waiting for health and safety to say I can't put a pencil behind me here because I'll get a splinter. But it's going to come, and you know it's coming. You know. That's why you're laughing. Right, this is the document. This is unbelievable. Right, this is, you've all seen this, yeah? You know what this is, yeah? Birth certificate. Right. You get a certified copy, you do not get the original, because that goes somewhere else. This up here, when you actually look at this, you look at this, and you get your own. When you get home, or you get your kids, whatever, get this document and look at it, because it's phenomenal what they've done. The name of the person's being created in capitalised surname. See, the surname's in capitals, okay? It's a fiction. This is being created. That fiction is going to be created there. But what they need is, they need another fiction to do it. They have to have a fiction there to do this, who is the informant. You actually inform on your own children. Do you know that? You inform on them. It's brilliant, isn't it? Eh? And your qualification is, you're one of their parents. Mad, mad. And it's capitalised, it's all capitalised. And it is absolutely true. Look at your birth certificate, informant, the qualification needed, and it will say needed, and you inform because you are the father or the mother. What you don't know is that at the bottom, there is a declaration. Now, a declaration is in common law. A declaration is a sworn oath of a man or a woman. And there's a reason that's on the bottom. Because without that man or woman being present, the fictitious mother or father isn't present. Now you're seeing that the person is attached to the human being. But to do this, they need the human being to be there. That's why there's a declaration at the bottom of it. And this, it says it quite simply. You have to be present to represent the person needed to create the new person's legal personality. I know it's a tongue, believe me, it's mind-boggling, but it really is. This is what we found. And it all makes sense. That's the point. This is what I want to tell you about it. And then you register it to a corporation. The General Register Office. Get your birth certificate and lift it up and you'll see GRO. It's a General Register Office. That's who you're registering it to. Registration and your children. And this is not funny. This is really, really true. Okay? To this day, registration still means the same thing. You hand over or you transfer the legal title to the body you have registered it with. As you have seen, the worst possible way this has been done is by the birth certificate. It's been abused. A simple show of this is do you have to mandatory school your children? Well, you do. And can you take them on holiday when you want to? No. Because what happens when you take them out at term time? I know people have received £100 fines for taking their kids out at term time, taking them on holiday. And they have to be vaccinated. The thing is, it's their property. You signed over title ownership of that child to the government when you registered it. You've got no claim to your children whatsoever. You just don't know it because you've been duped. If you want proof of it, the social services. What happens when you don't look after their property or they pertain you're not looking after their property properly? Linda Lewis, Baby P. What happens? They take the child away. And not all children are taken away because the child is in danger. Do not believe that for a second. Do not believe the propaganda because it's not true. And my friend down there, Mr. Gerrish, can prove this many, many times. Well, what you'll notice is it says Social Services PLC because it is a PLC. And a PLC is a publicly limited company that has shareholders. And shareholders need profits. And where do they get profit from? Stealing children. I couldn't believe this when I found it. I was stunned. Brian's been telling me this for 18 months. And I couldn't believe it because I couldn't see any facts, and I only deal with facts. I deal with black and white, right or wrong. There's no in-betweens. Something's right or it's wrong. And this is fact, and it makes sense. I want to prove it as well. Consider this. Could the government lawfully take your car and crush it if you owned it? Right. When you register your vehicle, you hand over the ownership, title ownership of that vehicle to the government. You get a V5 document, and it's the registered keeper. Look on anyone, registered keeper. If you look on the advert that's on the telly, and they crush the car in front of the couple, just come back from wherever they come back, and the car crashes up in front of them, the voice says, we have a legal right to do this. But it doesn't say, we have a lawful right to do this. Because they haven't got a lawful right to do it. They've just duped you into giving your property to them so they can crush it when you don't put bloody tax on it. Incredible, incredible. Basically, as well, when you do this, when you register it, as stated, because it is stated, you agree to abide by their rules. MOT certificate, road tax, and the fuel levy tax as well. You agree to this. This is what you agree to because it's part of the deal. And then you register it to another corporation. Please remember this. Please, please remember this in future. When you register something, anything, you give up ownership of it. Your house, your car, your children, whatever it is, you give up ownership of it. I know you shouldn't own your children, and you don't, but your children are your children. And no one has a right to take that child away from you. No one.